Welcome. This is the Leadership Scenario Overview for BMGT 364 Management and Organization Theory class at UMUC. The Leadership Scenario assignment is due in week 5, and it requires you to review the leadership motivation case that's provided in your syllabus. You can see it here highlighted on the screen. It is called a question of motivation. I would encourage you to read through this particular case at least one time, just for the purposes of reading through it, so that you understand the basis of the case, and then read through it another time. And the second time when you're reading through it, look at it more from a perspective of leadership and motivation. And the reason I ask you to do that is because the purpose of this case is to allow you to understand leadership issues, including but not limited to things such as motivation, ethical decision making, how to manage change, when to manage change, establishing an organizational culture, why those types of things are important. And so the case will really allow you to apply what you've learned in the course about leadership and motivation. Of course, as you've already realized, this is an 8-week course. As a result, it does require you to read ahead and to study ahead in order to be able to start working on your assignments ahead of time so that you have a good draft and you have an opportunity to review and finalize. And the same is true with this assignment. It's due in week 5. However, although we will have covered the concepts of leadership and motivation by that time, we haven't yet covered them, and so it's important to do a little bit of reading ahead or glancing ahead in your textbook. What you'll be expected to do for this assignment is to select 2 theories of motivation and 2 leadership theories, and you are going to apply those both positively and negatively to the particular case study. So when you select your theory of motivation, let's say you select McGregor's theory X and Y. And I am by no means telling you that that is included in this particular case, but I'm simply picking that off the top of my head. What you'll need to do if you were using McGregor's theory X and Y, you would first define that concept, that theory, so that you have a very good explanation of it. And then you'll apply the concept or theory to the information from the case. In other words, you're going to correlate. You'll define the particular case concept or theory, then you're going to correlate that to the examples that you found in the case, and you'll be able to explain in your analysis whether you saw the particular theory positively seen in that case or negatively seen, or perhaps you didn't see it at all, but you believe this is what could have been done to make that particular scenario work better in the particular case. So there are a variety of different approaches you can take here. I want you to remember that some theories are more easily applied than others. The situation typically dictates what theory works best and which ones won't apply. So part of your grade is going to be based on the selection and the presentation of the appropriate theories based on the examples that you're providing from the case. That's why it's important for you to really define your concept or theory and correlate the example clearly so that I understand exactly what it is that you're saying, and understand specifically why you selected that particular concept or theory. Utilize headings to identify the theory presented. In other words, you have to do 2 theories of motivation and you're doing 2 theories of leadership. Make sure that you have a clear introduction in your paper, and then you'll have your motivational theory, and you'll actually give me the name of the theory so that I know what you're talking about in that particular paragraph or paragraphs that you're working on. And if you do that, you'll have you'll have 4 headings for each of the 2 motivation and leadership theories. You'll have, of course, your introduction that starts it off, and then you'll have a summary conclusion at the end. It's important to explain the theory in your own words, but reference where you're getting that definition from. what I always tell students is read the definition of the concept or theory, then put it into words that allow you to practically apply that to the case study. That'll make this a lot easier for you to do it. It'll also make the practical application clearer and more focused. As with your first paper, you want to make sure that you continue to utilize the same basic formatting. You want a double space, 12-point font, make sure it's between 5 and 6 pages. That excludes your title and reference page. Ensure that you have a clear introduction, as I just stated, your 4 theories, and a summary of the theory and its application to the case study. When you're doing your actual theory presentations and you're talking about them, make sure that you don't go beyond 750 words. You don't want to have less than 250, by the way, but you don't want to have more than 750, and here's the reason why. As managers or leaders, you have to learn to be succinct, clear, specific in what you are stating. And so you want to make sure that you are holding to your word limit, because you lose folks over time if you're not clear and focused in that manner. Make sure you use APA formatting for your in-text citations and reference page. Just as a reminder, any reference you have in the reference page must be included in your in-text citations. You can't include something in your reference page that you didn't utilize in the body of the paper. Submit your paper in the assignment folder in WebTyco. Please submit it as an attachment. Some of you in this first assignment did both attachment and you cut and pasted it, and some just did a cut and paste. It's important to submit it as an attachment, as a Word attachment. That way I can download it and I can provide concrete pieces of information and detail when I'm reviewing your actual document. References, as a last piece as a reminder here, you must include your textbook and at least 2 academic or highly respected publications. That means a total of 3 references for this particular assignment. And when we say highly respected business publications, I'm talking along the lines of Newsweek or Time. You don't want to use wikis. They will not be accepted. You certainly don't want to use things like, and I laugh when I say this, but I've had someone who've done this, you don't want to use the National Enquirer or the Star. Those are not highly respected business publications. They may be fun to read, but they're not highly respected business publications. I believe that is it for this assignment. As always, if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to your instructor. Thanks. Have a great week.